they're gonna recast it and they're gonna try and put her in office because popular opinion is how this area of the land works. I don't know why, but that's what we do. But I've realized that most of the people that are in this live, we're not supposed to be leading the people here. We're supposed to be leaving here and helping people around the world. And if you don't understand that, if you can't see that, I'm not saying see you specifically, I'm just saying in general, then you got to figure out what your purpose is. I realize now, just from this election, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Because you have 92% of women voted for Kamala are women, and 78% of the men voted for Kamala are men. When I say are, I mean ivory colored. I don't want to say the word
Th-
black
th-
because
That's why I be going at it with Ethereal so bad because he swear to God that we the ones and we still got all control and white folks never had a say so in this whole
I
control
mean
of the government and
he might
system.
be right in the sense. I seen something with I don't know what's his name, bro. I forgot his name. Ray, not Ray Hagan's, Rod Hayes, and it made sense. I don't really listen to Rod Hayes, but what he said made sense. And one of the things that he was alluding to was that it's cool if you're not from this land and you look like us. Just don't get in the way. So I think what Ethereal is doing is meant for a certain type of our people that are actually indigenous to the land and they're doing their own thing. And the ones that are lost that look like them are the ones that don't know they're not from here and you're not supposed to be over here. You're just over here because they shipped your family members over here, whether it's through the Central Americas and North Americas, Asia, wherever they came from. You are the descendants of those people. So you need to return home, and they've classified you as whatever they want you to be over here because you're in a melting pot. You feel me? So the more you
Yeah,
start to understand this stuff, the more you start to realize, like I said, I did my roots connection. I'm not even black, bro. I'm Saudi Arabian. I'm African. I'm
yeah.
Saudi Arabian, Egyptian, and Ethiopian. I look like you niggas. I'm actual royalty where I come from. They know, bruh. I was in Dubai in 2013, Americanized as fuck, in a Navy uniform. Muslims, all the Arabians and these people were walking up to me and was like, they didn't tell you who you were. You don't belong over there. You're from here. This, that, and there. And I'm like, what the hell? They knew who I was, bro.
Hmm.
Family. They knew who I was. And I'm sitting here like,
What
terrorist.
what
you
like
know,
based off
like I
phenotype
don't know
or
these
just
niggas.
based off of who you was with and what she was doing?
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know. And then I find they said when you find out, you'll come back. And the more I started doing it, then I had my son. My son is Palestinian. He's black and Palestinian. I had my son. He looks like his grandfather. So when I found out about my grandfather or my father and who he was, and he was literally Saudi Arabian and Egyptian. My mom is the black one. She's the Ethiopian one and Hebrew. So when I seen that, I was just like, holy crap. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So this whole time I've been living under this karmic generational supposed curse of, oh, you're a black American, you're not gonna be this, you're not gonna be that, you're not gonna be this, you're not gonna be that. And none of that stuff ever applied to me. And I used to think I was an agent. I used to think I was all kinds of stuff because I didn't have the same interactions that most of the people around me were having with said police, detectives, all kinds of establishments with racism and everything like that. I never got that. You see what I'm saying? Like I watched my wife, my daughter's mom, deal with some racism on some stuff, but she's actually indigenous to this land. They're from Florida. They're Jamaican and Haitian, but they have roots in the Seminole and Blackfoot tribes all through Florida that go all the way up to the coast of North Carolina, South Carolina, and all that. They deal with real police brutality and racism in their bloodline. You see what I'm saying? Whereas for me, cops look at me like I'm fucking royalty, bro. And they come to me and ask me questions and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's because of the way I have the demeanor, the way I can talk, articulate myself, or
A big
whatever.
a big part
But
of
that's
it
what
do
it's
be
always
that
been.
though. That's why I say it's more important that we start making. Of course, I love the whole genealogy conversation, but at the same time, it's more so we need to start to make those changes right now. If we can just speak properly, if we speak like royalty, if we carry ourselves like royalty, if we dress like royalty, if we think like royalty, the world will have no choice but to start to accept us and respect us in that way.
But I don't want people to take that as like we should be. exemplifying what royalty is in the eyes of white supremacy and
Not even like royalty, but
Eurocentric.
more so just
Feel
having
me? Because
decorum.
some people would be like, "Oh, you articulate, you pronounce your words and everything." They would think that that's a white thing. They would think that that's a
No, it's
European thing. It's
intelligence.
not.
It's just
Proper English
it's
is
just
proper
showing
English, but proper
intelligence.
English, it differs for each region you're in. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to the most illiterate person in their own language. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you have a point though. Just for the job you want, not the job you got.
Exactly.
Facts, facts. You see what I'm saying? And so it's just, it's like we I mean, with this election, you can literally see what we value as a collective for the people that look like us in America. You know what
It,
I'm
and,
saying?
and
And
I
it's
think
just
it
like
shows that we the minority as well. I think that's the other thing I was showing. I would say a sprinkle of us being a minority, but I've also seen rappers like Money Man and Kanye that support Trump. It's a lot of people that actually like down what's his name? Fuck, Dave Chappelle. It's a lot of
mhm.
celebrities and people with money that actually support Trump.
But do you know
Um
why though? Because all right, so we said this earlier, you wasn't in here. The only people that are mad at Trump are people that don't own anything.
exactly. I said that's the
Like it's
first thing I
about
said on my story
business.
today.
It's
I
not
was like,
about your
everybody.
feelings. You know, if you
I
have
said,
a
all y'all need to get
business,
LLCs right now. I said, everybody need to get an
like bro, do
LLC
you
and
know how
start a
many
business
people
right now.
do you know how many people, when Trump first was in office, how many people started small businesses by the end of his term because of the PPP loans, the stimuluses, and all these checks and everything that everybody was getting at that time when he was in office? That's what I'm saying. I don't know why everybody's acting like it's about to be the end of the world because y'all survived a presidency with him. You're barely surviving with this woman in office, and she don't even have power.
Yeah.
You're barely surviving. Everybody's complaining, not just the Democrats. The Republicans are. They just want Biden out. Like Biden is not connected to Kamala. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to him being in office, it's crazy to me because it's just like I know for a time I had my son in 2021, and we made it, and I wasn't working because of COVID, and we made it. We were okay. You know what I'm saying? But we had the ability to. We still traveled to Cali and came back and forth to Cali and all kinds of things like that. So it's just like those that don't have anything,
How
don't
do you,
own anything, don't want to own anything. They're the only ones that are upset, and they're going to use the whole women he hates women narrative. But that's not true.
yeah. How do you
It's
feel
not.
about the whole draining the swamp thing when they was talking about like he was draining the swamp, cleaning out deep state, exposing the Illuminati and all that type of shit? How do you feel about that?
I forgot you new to my page, but that's all I be talking about. I started my whole live 10, 12 years ago. I started my whole my whole page 10, 12 years ago on this stuff. I know everything that you're talking about because I was in the military and I worked with it. And I've been telling people since 2016. That's why I said I told everybody from 2016 back, and I still have the receipts, that when he wins the second time, because it's a part of a prophecy that my son was involved in. My son came to me in 2012, 2013, right before I got pulled out of my body and went to Sirius. And when he came to me, he didn't get here until 20. My son was born, what, 2021? First, he was January 1st, 2021. But I saw him come to me in 2013. That's almost what, I want to say 10 years, 11 years before he was actually born.
You talking about
In
like
that
a
time
dream or
frame,
something like that?
Trump was running for office. It was Trump versus Clinton. I think Trump versus Hillary. That's what was going on. And then the one that the timeline that I saw when he won was America was divided in two. There was supposed to be a cataclysmic event that happened with water. And I mean, the water covered Texas, Louisiana, like all these places were flooded. Coincidentally, he's in office or he just won, and there's supposed to be a fucking tropical storm headed towards Louisiana right now. So they're telling y'all it's not going to be that big. Those are the ones you have to worry about because the ones that they say aren't that bad are the ones that are actually horrible. The ones that they say are bad, that's just money gouging and getting prices up to get money. You see what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
they they trick you like that. And so like I'm looking at that and I'm just like, yo, is this where the water disaster happens and it destroys everything and then I have to move and go to the East Coast? Because if that's the case, I'm headed east. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dealing with a death right now, and it's insane because he that was a Masonic ritual, and we know it, and we're trying to investigate it because we know who did it, we know why they did it. Um, it just sucks. It was my girlfriend's dad, so like we had just seen him 3 days ago on Halloween, and then like 3 hours after we saw him, he was murdered. Like the shit was wild, and right on 11-101, like it is crazy how that shit happened. So I got to deal with that at the same time, I'm looking at all this shit that's happening right now, and it's just like they don't even understand what the fuck is coming. Because I kind of knew he was gonna win after her dad died, because it was just like, holy shit, she became what she became overnight due to just her dad dying. So it's like, holy shit, if that's happening with her, and we're over here, this is what's getting ready. So everybody that has been oppressed financially, somehow the inheritance is being returned to you, but it's not going to be returned to you for you to waste it and spoil it. It's going to be returned to you so that you can go out and do greater works. And I think everybody is stuck in America because they keep thinking that they're supposed to be here turning their business. What if you're not supposed to start your business until you get to Japan? They don't tell you that. What if you're not supposed to start anything until you get to where you're supposed to be on the other side? Sometimes you have to leave where you're born in order to come into higher energy, bigger purposes. There's other vortexes that need your energy that are going to expand you and uplift you in your ascension process. This isn't, you don't start a video game and stay on the same fucking map the entire video game.
Yeah.
It's free world now. You see what I'm saying? You got fucking, what do they call those things? But fast travel stations
Mm-hmm.
where you go in there, you save data, and then you're in another level of the game, and it's on a different world. It's in a different area of the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people just don't look at this stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, if y'all want to stay here and continue killing yourselves while the prices go up, I mean, every European country that is run by the monarch, they're gonna move like that. But there's so many other countries out there. I'm looking at Thailand right now. Thailand is, it's different.
Why move?
Why move?
Yeah.
All right. So what I was explaining was, the majority of the people that voted for Kamala and our people, the ones that look like us, right? Those people that voted for her, the percentages are 92% women of our people and 72%, what up, Tim? 72% men, or 78% men of our people. Now, that's in America. The white folks and the Hispanic folks put Trump in office. That means majority of black people who voted for a black candidate, you feel me? They voted for this candidate, and they still, with all this power, spiritual power and knowledge that they have, and they still lost due to the minority of people putting their money, resources, and efforts towards one candidate and one goal. Those same people who who tried to put her in office are now warring against each other, saying that the men didn't support, the women didn't support, but the data tells you who supported and how many supported. So it's crazy to me. The reason why I'm saying you're supposed to move is because those people that chose not to vote, me, but knew the outcome, those people that voted for the other party that won, those are the people that are supposed to be leading every other generation and race. The people that voted for the opposite party, those are your devils. Those are the ones that believe in war. They believe in child pedophilia. They believe in all the
You
things that
saying
we
the
just
people
talked
that
about.
voted for Trump believe in those things?
No, I'm not saying that they don't believe in them. I'm saying that they believe and stand on morals, and they want it. Most of the people that voted for Trump know about the pedophile war. They know about the underground tunnels. They're more open-minded to change than they let on. They're just traditional and patriotic about it. Whereas the other side, they're more liberal, and they're like, you shouldn't police anything. No, in fact, there should be order. They want order out of chaos. You know, they're okay with transgenders and all these other things. There's nothing wrong with that.
You heard
But there
about
comes a
Kamala
time and
doing the
place where it's,
transgender shit for the prisons? They was letting
yeah,
all the
it comes a time and place where your personal beliefs should not be thrust onto society and make the society forced to adapt to your beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
okay, yeah.
And that side,
Especially when it
that's
deals
what they
with
do.
sexual pervert, like lower nature matters, like that shit
It's
don't got
all
nothing to
lower
do with
nature
nothing.
stuff. And so
Yeah.
that's when I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, all the people in my lives, we're not supposed to be trying to save these motherfuckers over here. We're supposed to be out of this bitch doing that work with other people around the world.
But that's where I kind of fall back on ethereal knowledge, and I like what he say because I feel like because I had a deep conversation with this. One of my I was on the whole Nature Boy wave. I don't know if you tapped into Nature Boy when he was kicking shit, but
Yeah, I was there
a
before
big
you got tested. It was
yeah, a
wild.
big part of what he was talking about was us leaving the system and then allowing the system to basically collapse Babylon to collapse. But at the same time, when you kind of dive into ethereal knowledge and then the not well beyond ethereal, just the knowledge of us, this is our native land. Um, and this is a beautiful land in general because we got all four seasons here. It's tropical. It's a lot of dope shit here in America. It's a lot of land that they don't. They try to make us think that there's limited land. There's if you travel and drive around America, there is a lot of land in America.
Money move. And Zeke even said,
How?
Economically right now, which would y'all prefer? The business-minded motherfucker that's dropping gems to help you make money, or the person that's really, y'all got,
What?
understand this, beloved, for real. Just for real. Take your emotions out of it. Take your gender out of it. If someone sat down and said to you, right now, economically, I need you to focus on what the fuck we need to do money-wise. Don't get me wrong. I got this dumbass bigot and this bimbo-ass bitch. I'm just gonna call it bum-ass bigot and bimbo bitch. I don't give a fuck who mad at me how I say it. I'm just putting it down into layman's terms for a lot of people who angry about the fuck going on. If you sit down and somebody said, which would you rather? Because right now we're economically struggling. And they said, damn, you right. This nigga has the economic, financial connections to help us rebalance where we need to be economically. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Economically, financially, let the masculine energy reprogram the currency. Because let's be real with you. Nobody, not even me, because yes, I qualified for a PPP loan because I had a real business. I had a whole salon. I needed that. I lost money from my salon. So let's be real. Economically, what I'm saying is, if somebody sat me down and said, we need to monopolize our country more economically, financially stable. How can we do that? Yes, this motherfucker is an asshole. Who the fuck wants an asshole anyway? But if we are struggling financially, once again, America, I'm talking about we are the poorest motherfucking state.
Huh?
What would you rather? And don't get me wrong now, I am not agreeing. Hear me out. If you actually heard me out, what I'm saying is to make a choice, my love. To make a choice.
Not my love.
Hold on.
Okay.
Me out. Literally take your emotions out of it. To make a choice to save your country, you have to make a sacrifice, my dude. When a woman bears a child, she is sacrificing her livelihood, nigga. Literally, she could die giving birth. Her child could die while she gives birth. But the two go hand in hand because it's a sacrifice to bring in a new world order. So follow me what I'm saying. A sacrifice, a financial one. Don't get me wrong. If you really was listening to me, I was just giving a totality of all the different energy. But a conglomerate of what I'm saying is, if I had to choose financially to save my family, God forgive me for what I'm finna say, but baby, hands tied behind my back. Just help me financially get right. What do I need to do? Who do I need to connect with? What are the laws in my city and state? What are the laws of the country? What are the laws of the citizenships? What are the laws of consumer law? What are the laws of black law? Do y'all know that this is a distraction? Because the real fact is the laws that still apply to you that you can utilize for yourself against government. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't let this political debate get you in a mental wormhole to where you forget. Utilize where you are and what you are. Figure out what are your state's laws so you can use them against Congress. So you can use them against, technically governmental law says this. You know how many people have taken the government or taken their state or taken this jurisdiction to court and they won? Know why? Because money runs the country, and they rather pay you out first. You sue them and all, and they come, and now they're commodity and they're.
Can I respond before my train of thought? Can I respond? Because you going to 5 different places. Can I respond?
That's
my train of thought.
Once again, it all comes back to what the fuck I just said. At the end of the day, if your economy is suffering, you have to make a sacrifice so that way you can at least balance the scales. But y'all think I'm sitting here mad about a woman being president. I'm not. What I'm saying is economically, due to the structure of how we're built, give me someone that can financially rebuild me until we get these motherfuckers out. That's what I say something.
No, let me say something before I lose my thought. Basically you saying because he put his name on checks, that means that he economically he's a great businessman.
I don't give a fuck. He only
That's basically what you're saying.
Because he's the president. You're mundanely not listening to me. You really not.
So what has he done businessly, economically to change this world? Because he put his name on checks.
Trump is not afraid to grease elbows with the enemy to show you. As long as you know how to politically connect with your enemy, you make your enemy your footstool. I don't have to provide the facts that we
Make your
already
enemy your
fucking know.
footstool. I like
Look
that.
past that shit.
So what's the fact? I don't know. I'm asking you on some real shit.
It's fucking
Because you said
truth.
economically,
It is
you
too
said
political.
Let's see what I got going on.
No, no, that's the problem. He did win. He never
back to back.
lost.
You know what I'm saying? Now you talking about the pedophile war and stuff, but they
Yes,
just
sir.
haven't
We back.
announced it yet. Yeah, they
I'm
haven't
good, bro.
announced it yet. But everybody's waiting on doom and gloom, and I'm sitting here like, y'all, do y'all walk? Do y'all go outside?
Got it. Like maybe we need to start playing the do replays again because he definitely told y'all he was gonna be the last president. He meant that. That
Right.
was not a joke.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
that's for the replays.
right. And so we was talking about. He asked me. Crystal asked me why leave. I said
Hey, somebody got some
anything to
background
me.
noise going.
Yeah, Joey,
That's probably me. I'm at work, bro.
mute your mic or whoever that is. Mute it. So he asked why leave. I say I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I could ask the same thing. Why stay? You see what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why I'm saying that is because it's like, why not leave? If America is the greatest place, how would you know that unless you travel outward? You would have to go other places
I
to
kind of feel
understand
like
that.
it is low key, just not necessarily, but in a sense of military power. I feel like we can't allow motherfuckers like Trump because, like I said, I got a very open perspective. But when I seen him and all the whiteness on stage, and I love my white people, but it was just like more so a space of like. We can't just let these motherfuckers have this country when we the natives of this country. It's almost like giving up after the war. The war was ended in like almost like a civil war, right? Where we just was like, okay, cool, y'all can have this land, 50 acres and a mule type shit. But it's like if we all just leave the country and abandon this land, now we're just basically like, okay, well, yeah, after we done already built all this shit for y'all, we just gonna let y'all
Why would
have
you
it.
abandon it?
If we all just say, okay, cool, we're gonna leave and go to Thailand and just leave, we're not only are we leaving this land, but we're leaving the military that these motherfuckers have. We leaving all the infrastructure that we built. Is more so. I think we need to more so go into maybe some of the more rural areas and create countries and civil spaces for us to start
You know
becoming
that's what they want.
diplomats in those spaces. Because, like I said earlier, it's so much land in America that I don't think people really realize haven't been tapped into. It's a lot of rural land in America that we can tap into and start doing villages and tribes and build that way versus us going all the way to another country. We can just goddamn go in the forest somewhere and just start building shit.
Let
And
me
we
ask
can,
you this question though: what makes the system? Is it the system itself or the people?
it was
What makes
I
the government?
mean, the system is well, like I said, you got your it's the five pillars. So it's you got your I forget all of them, but it's politics, what is
Oh,
it?
you talking about the 7 pillars of influence?
Yeah, you got politics,
Politics. Yeah.
religion, military, and all that type shit.
Fine. Yeah.
That's false though.
Heads of the serpent.
Mm-hmm.
It's God first, or the serpent,
Right.
whatever you prefer. It's God
But
first.
and
So
here's
that
my thing.
the thing about this, a church is not a church with no worshipers. So the government isn't the government if it doesn't have what business. That's people. That's us. Agents.
Yeah.
You ever heard that show, Agents of Shield? Like you don't have that without us. So this is what I'm saying. So it's God first, then us. Actually, it's nature. Actually, nature is under God, which I would consider
Uh,
both of them.
Hold on,
Then it's
let me
then it's
reply to
system, then
Timo.
it's government.
He said the military and politics, all that's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant when they can just at the end of the day, if he be meeting with Kim Jong Il, if he decides he wants to be a dictator and turn America to a dictatorship, do you know what type of power that would be?
It's already that.
But
It's already that.
we still have
It's a free open
we
dictatorship.
we still have some feeling or notion that we have power and control, and at the end of the day, as of now, they can't just
Chris,
come into our houses and take shit.
Yes, they can.
They
They've done it. So what do
can,
you think?
but they're
What
not
do you
doing.
think?
They can, but they're
It
not doing that
passed
on like a
laws
global
for
level.
years ago that they
Because
can't.
9 times out of 10, it's because of the rules that we already have for us to defend
Because we
ourselves.
have
We have a
laws, we have
dictatorship,
we have we have certain things in
but they
space.
don't follow these
They
laws.
don't know.
We,
They
That's
don't
why
know
but
these
how
people
to
are
deal with that.
massacred
they're
now.
still in the Constitution. So if we have this is my whole point. Like I said, we have to
But
stand on something. We cannot allow them to just take all this military power and go to another country and just let them have their way. Because eventually, it's almost like when you got a lot of trash in your room and you just put that shit up under the bed. Eventually, that shit is gonna come out. Eventually, you're gonna realize if you keep putting trash up under the bed, one day you're going to have to look up under that bed and deal with all that shit you put up under the bed or in the closet. So it's more
okay,
so
let
we
me
need
let
to
me
deal
ask
with
you
this shit
one question.
now.
How many branches of this government actually uphold the Constitution?
I mean, legally they all have to. Of course, you can
You know
find
how you can
loopholes, but
make you know
legally
how
they're
a
supposed
child
to.
you let your child go outside and they can play outside for a certain amount of time and then they have to go right back in the house. Okay, this is what I'm saying. They let us feel like we're free enough to where we don't overthrow this motherfucker. That's basically what they do. Like, yeah, here, take this. You're
Right.
okay. We got you. We see you. We respect you. We want you to be happy. But when you start realizing, bro, they have no power. There's no way that a bank can own houses. It doesn't have a soul. It's not a living person. So when you start talking about this, you're saying rights and laws and this and that, bro. The whole constitution, the whole system is corrupt. Understand that they have no
I,
power
I
without us.
get
We
that.
had
I get
no,
that, but we
electricity.
we
Thank
still
you.
have a level of peace though. The
No, we
police,
don't.
yes, we do,
It's
bro.
false, bro.
We
Like,
do have
but
I
some
want you
level of
to next
peace,
all
time
right.
you
bro.
see a
So let me
police
let me let me
officer, I
say let
want
me
you
put
to
it to you in
really
election
ask them,
terms.
do they know the
I
Constitution? Do
gotta
they
put it
truly
into
know
election
law?
terms. I'm gonna say this again because I don't think you got what I was saying. 78% of our colored people voted for Kamala. 94% of the women voted for Kamala. All in our community. That means the our community alone, and by our community I mean ivory brown colored people. Our community
Thank you.
alone had the power to put Kamala in. With all our spiritual prowess, the knowledge of God that we had, all of us came together to put this woman in who isn't even what she claims she is. And you still fucking lost.
We're the
She shouldn't
minority
have been
though.
on the
There's not
ballot
a
in the
lot
first
of us
place.
over here anymore
We're
because of
not the
genocide.
minority though. We're
How?
not.
We're
How
the majority,
how
bro.
can you
How
say
we the
that?
minority if most of the niggas
How, bro?
listen,
You know
I'm
what's funny?
explaining. I'm explaining to you in
Go ahead,
real
go ahead, go
terms.
ahead, go
I'm explaining to you in
ahead.
real terms. So let's look at all the people that voted. How many were felons and couldn't vote? How many people are locked up that look like our people? And
A
yet we
lot,
still had all these
a
people
lot.
try and put her in. A lot,
And are
right?
you counting the homeless people too?
You got the homeless people, you got the people that didn't vote, you got the
A
youth, you
whole
got
lot of
all
him in
these people.
Atlanta.
There's no way we're
Where
the minority over here.
where
There's
Kamala
no
fucked up
way.
is that she was against like all men,
You see
and
what I'm saying?
black,
Mm-hmm.
There's no
and
way.
I
If
think
you
a
would
lot
have
of black
combined the
that
people
shit,
of our
and that's
color
why they didn't vote for her.
from Trump's side to
Yeah,
go into the Kamala side, we still couldn't put her in
it
because it's not
does,
about
bro.
her being in office, bro. I said this earlier. You got to think of the world stage. America is considered the villain right now for a lot of these places. But do you think that all these other generational places and people in the UN are going to allow America to have a mascot of not just a woman, but a brown colored woman to bring peace to the world? You're fucking stupid. They don't even like women. Like they don't like women the way we like women. You feel me? Like how? That's why I said this whole contact, this whole spiritual attack of the divine feminine is rising and all this other stuff and all these things. Like that's not going to make if that's not how the world works. Like we're talking what we want to see versus what it is. What it
Yes.
is everybody is not from here, but those of us that look like we're from here are trying to attach ourselves to those that are originally from here and getting in the way of their fight with what they're trying to do when it comes to the land. But the only land that they're talking about happens to be on the northern side of the continent. They don't talk about Canada. They don't talk about Central America. They don't talk about going down to South America and taking their land. You know what I'm saying? And that's supposed to be all of your land. You feel me? And how do you know that you didn't come from one of these lands? You get on this land over here, but your actual inheritance land comes from over there. That's what I found out. I'm
You talking
thinking
about
I'm one of
Africa?
these niggas, and I'm not. My daughter is. You feel me?
I'm saying you
My
talking about
son
Africa
might
though
be.
right now.
Huh?
You talking about Africa? What people are you talking about right now?
No, my land come from. Well, my land come from northern Egypt, so I'm Saudi Arabian and Egyptian. But then I'm also Ethiopian. So yeah, all my land is in Africa. You feel me? But I didn't even know I was African. Saudi Arabian and Egypt, you wouldn't think that that's Africa. It's in Africa, bro.
Where
It's
were you
African.
born at?
I'm an Asiatic black man.
Where were you
I'm
born?
not a East. Where was I? I was born in Silver Spring, Maryland.
So you were native to America though, still. So you
Here,
Bloodline.
but my land, my people don't come from here. My
no,
You
dad
but
and
talk
my
about his
mom are
bloodline.
both from
but
Africa.
still, my whole point about not you can leave because you're not
He's more
naturally from here. You can be
medical.
free, but
But
I'm more
you,
so speaking for the people that are goddamn Seminole and
Like my daughter. My
Cherokee,
daughter is
all the
Seminole
people that are
Blackfoot.
native to this land. For us to abandon this land is us basically giving up the war
original to the
of
land.
I'm not
all the
saying
ancestors
abandon.
that
Okay,
died fighting for
listen.
this land. That would be weak
Abandoning
of
it
us to
is not.
leave
But
this land and
listen,
abandon this land.
but you didn't abandon. You okay? Look, this is my thing with this. When it comes to ancestors and this type of conversation, because it's like when you were born, the way it's set up now has what it's been since past your great grandparents. So you don't even know the land to be yours. You only know the land to be overtaken. So what would you be abandoning other than their program of what they wanted to do with your land? You see
No,
what I'm saying? I
I'm talking
also
about
feel
the
like the
war.
whole ownership
I'm
of
talking about the
land.
wars. People gotta put themselves into a space of war. I don't think people can resonate with that level of pain. I'm a real life warrior. I play football, but for me, I understand the esoteric of that battle mindset, being in an actual war and like this, we're fighting for our lives. It's a lot of motherfuckers that fought long
Dude,
and hard for
we're
this
not gonna
land.
have a choice. If you're talking about war, that's gonna happen anyway. We don't
Yeah,
have
but
a choice in
listen,
that. That's
Yeah,
like
war
if
happens
we
every day.
abandon this landmass though and go to Puerto Rico, Thailand, and all these other places where the United States and the NAO, the One Nation Order, the fucking
they were
all
refugees.
that shit like that, United Nations, when they that military powerhouse, we need some people in the military that look like us that's gonna stand up for what's right and not allow them to just bully and have their way with the world, because then they can push this one world order shit on us and it'll be easy and it'll be white supremacy in that shit, and that shit is going to look really ugly if we don't have no fucking weapons and no land and no power. We
Okay,
need
so did you
people,
come up
land,
with
and
Jesus,
weapons.
bro?
You
Did you come
realize,
up?
okay,
I got a question for you. Did you come
you
up with
realize
Jesus?
they're asking us leave here right now, right? Ethiopia. That's why they're bringing up those old videos of the Ethiopian queen saying, "Come on back home. We're sorry."
Yeah.
The same with the other African king who was saying, "Y'all come back. We sorry." First of all, there's a reason why they want you to leave the land, but there's a reason. You're doing what they want you to do, and you
See, for
realize
me,
the reason why they're bringing those immigrants back because those immigrants are originally from here anyway.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. So,
So
but here's the
understand
thing.
that. So why would they do that though? When somebody
Well,
steals something, they have to replace it. What they do, they
this
put
is
it
my
back
thing
in
though.
like nothing
Here's my
happened.
question. This is my thing. As a people, from what I understand about the Americas over here, were y'all meant to sit still, or were y'all vagabonds and y'all traveled the world? Because if you don't know that, that's part of the problem. A lot of y'all think that y'all's land was taken from you because it was occupied, not knowing that you were gone, and when you came back, your shit was gone.
What
You see what
Christopher
I'm saying?
Columbus do
Because
when he
we
came
had
to America?
travel routes. Huh? What's up?
I said, what did Christopher Columbus do when he came to America? He said he what discovered it.
Yeah.
The
It wasn't
same
no
way
He
if
know
your
he
car
didn't
Europeans
breaks,
running
discover it though.
around.
if
They
I
your
didn't
think
car
that's
breaks down,
I
we were
think
look,
that's
saving
a
too.
story that the people after him said. I think he more so
car don't
realized that he
suffer, bro.
colonized it. Cause I read, like I said, I read his journals and shit like that. In his journals, he
I did
say
too.
When he first came over here, he exchanged red caps for gold. That goes back to the Republican Party. They exchanged red caps for gold, and the first thing he said was, "Okay, these would be very easily people for us to convert to Christianity and use as slaves." They was using the original Christianity to basically brainwash them into believing the Caucasian man was a
But
chosen
that's a
people,
lot of.
and then turn us into slaves
He
and
said
docile
that.
us.
He said that, but that was a lot. Christianity was already here.
Yeah,
No, the
because
fuck it wasn't. What the
There already
fuck?
Christian.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
it was.
How was Christianity already
There already
in
Christian.
Native America when we had a whole different spiritual system?
Bro, Christianity was already in Americans.
The
Who brung it?
spiritual
Who brung
system
it
that
to America?
Christianity came in was worldwide. Y'all
They
don't
brung the
understand that.
Holy
Christianity,
Bible
Muslims,
with
all that stuff
Julius
was
Caesar
worldwide.
on it.
Every
They were
500
already
or
Christian over
6,000 years.
here.
Who brung Christianity to Native America or makes them?
Some would say it started here. I don't know. It depends who you talk to.
That's ignorant.
I know Ethiopia, um,
That's where it started. Ethiopia.
but see, that's a lie because the Ethiopian Christianity came from a white bishop that they don't tell you about. He was doing missionary work and he brought the text of Christ over to them and they incorporated into what their version of Christianity already was. A lot of people don't understand that shit. But that was done. They had a small occupation in Ethiopia. Y'all hear the story about Ethiopia never being conquered. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm. That's bullshit.
This goes
They
back
only
to
show
the
with
Black
Ethiopia.
Slave
They only
versus
show
Tigray.
where the so-called Ark of the Covenant is supposed to be at
Right.
with the guy they call the Terminator. They only show that. Like, oh yeah, ain't nobody going over there. No, okay.
Christianity
But
has always been a worldwide thing, just like Muslims. That was a worldwide thing too,
Nah,
when the
fam.
whole world was
I
Muslims.
don't I don't believe that shit at all. That
I'm
don't
Of
telling
course,
you,
because
look,
you don't
that
never
don't
listen,
align
believe
with
is
bro.
none
to
of my
have
Go,
faith.
research at all.
bro. Go to why? All right. So
Research
here's my
never
question. Do you
ends,
know
though,
what's going
King.
on? You know what's? Do you know
You
what's
know
going on
that.
in Tigray? Do you know what's going on in Tigray?
And what?
Tigray.
What is that?
Tigray is in Ethiopia. All right. So y'all know about Nipsey being Eurasian, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So he was Eurasian. Eurasia is right next to
he's related
Ethiopia,
to
and the
Selecti,
city
right?
in Tigray. Tigray has been at having a whole genocide for the last 10, 12 years. That none of the influencers talk about. Unless you're Ethiopian, you would know about it. They've been at war. You see what I'm saying? So like the whole understanding of Ethiopia being in the 2016 and everything like that. A lot of people don't know that your math system comes from Ethiopia. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people want to claim the Egypt shit, but don't understand that Ethiopia was the original Kemet. Ethiopia was the start of all of that. A lot of people don't know that. That's why I tell
How
people
far is
North America,
Ethiopia
South
from
America,
Egypt and Giza, the pyramids of Giza and all that
Well,
shit?
it's well, technically it's considered Egypt because Egypt was considered as far as the Nile ran. So wherever the Nile ran through was Egypt.
Okay,
It
cool.
used to.
right?
Yeah, and I
It's
concur. And like I said, a lot of my shit that like a lot of the
little
research
empires
and
that was
stuff
there. North
I had
America, South
went to,
America, between Africa.
it's hard to find. But I
That's why
of course
that's
if
why
you,
you hear a lot of indigenous people talking about the Nile and the Mississippi River because it all connects.
yeah, but if you tap
Right.
into Egypt and shit in the Kemets, that shit was a worldwide um um
So do you think it was
system. That
Egypt
was
and
the
then South
world. It was
America, or do you think it
worldwide.
was South America and then Egypt? My question to you is, do you go west to east or east to west?
What does that matter?
It matters.
It definitely matters. It definitely
It matters, bro.
But no, but
The
listen,
yeah.
reason why the rest of the world
but
reads a
listen,
certain way
Lila,
and we don't over
you
here.
got a real expansive mind. Listen to what I'm saying though. The point of what I'm saying was Egypt was a worldwide political system. It was a worldwide um government.
Like Atlantis.
They had
Like Atlantis.
ties everywhere, all the way to America, where the Egyptians were transversing on the boats and stuff with America. So if like that's why I say the Christianity thing is kind of weird to me. I don't not the traditional Christianity we look at today with this story because the shit you look at the Americas and Egypt, that's like 60,000 year old plus. You know what I'm saying? 200,000 year old civilizations. That's super ancient civilizations. Christianity is only 6,000 years old. So you can't say that Christianity was the in America world like not fully used throughout all the population because
I
we
would say
had
modern day
way more
Christianity
ancient
is
belief
6,000
systems
years old.
than Christianity. Christianity is only six
Right.
thousand years old.
I would say modern day Christianity is only 6,000 years old because I don't know about you, but I know about the I was about to ask you. Is he asleep? Huh? Did he get in the pool? Hey, buddy. I was just about to come look at you. Yeah, you tired. You ready to go? His paper what? His paper bus. Okay. All right, y'all give me a second.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you though.
But and the reason why I'm saying that, and I hear you, I still deal with the lost history that nobody talks about, which is Tartaria. If you don't understand the Tartaria concept over in America and North Americans and the Egyptians and things like that, you're not gonna understand where I'm coming from. And the reason why I asked you,
Hey, yo,
you went
Sage.
east to west.
I was gonna ask you something because look, tell me why I was looking at Children of Corn the other day, right? And I thought about something because I never put piece these two together. I
Children of the
said, wait a
Corn
minute, they
connected
were
with,
orphans. Yeah,
yeah,
I was like, they
yeah,
orphans. I was like, wait a minute,
yes,
what?
yes. So the reason why people think that Christianity is 6,000 years old is because that's a part of the indoctrination process in the nation. Y'all give me a second. Come here.
Where do we spend our money? How do we govern ourselves? It's
That,
more on that. You know
that
what I mean?
that's why, like I said, I resonate with the whole ethereal thing, but we need to start putting it into action. The next actionable step is, okay, boom, you got your genealogy done. Now we need to connect with these tribes and even beyond the genealogy, because that's just going to create a different form of racism. We need to more so just get into, okay, do you believe in love, nigga? Do you want to eat? Are you hungry? Do you believe in peace? Okay, cool. So we got this land over here. Can you contribute anything to getting this land together? Okay, cool. We need to cut down these trees. Okay, cool. We need to build these streets. Okay, cool. We need to build these grocery stores, and we need to build
Yeah.
sustainable economic, resources for our own people. And we need to invest in weapons so we can protect ourselves, or we need to get really cold when it comes to prayer and whatever our spiritual system is, so that we can be protected on the esoteric level from the motherfuckers that's using guns to enforce their bullshit. Because in the Constitution it says, if you anybody that doesn't have a gun is a slave, because anybody else can just inflict their will upon you just with the use of a gun, because you are in submission to them because they got a gun. So they got more power than you. That's my whole thing about just going to other lands and then getting in la la land and just being, in Pisces energy and just like, ooh, la 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 la. You know what I'm saying? I'm living good. But you ignoring the fact that you just gave up this big ass landmass with all these big ass nukes and these evil ass people. These evil ass Neanderthal thinking ass people over here with all this power and resources and insecurity. So we need to just establish government on this land, within this government, within the confines of this government, so we can have a level of protection and we can just build from there. Build in peace. We need to get back to teepees and building houses with pyramid shapes. Cause even the
Yep.
fucking us living in these square ass houses with all these matrices. If you look at how many squares is an unnatural shape in nature. We're not supposed to have all
Yep.
these square ass shapes. We need to just get back to just making shit simple. We need to build pyramid homes, circular beds. You know what I'm saying? Just simple mathematics to just start to change our minds so we can break out of the matrix in that way. And then everything else will start to formulate. But we can't just run from this land though. This is our shit. This a
No,
beautiful
but
land.
how feasible is that change? Because like we all know we got to do that, bro. But like getting people to actually follow through and give all this shit up that we have right now and go do that. That's the challenge.
It
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
is. It definitely, like I said, I don't think it's easy, but it's necessary for us to start planting those seeds. But that's why community is important, because if we can establish a community, it won't be that hard. We can keep our jobs in Babylon and shit like that, but we need to focus on, okay, let's get a good job. Let's get good LLCs. Let's build these 501 C1As and get these religious institutions, because if it's a church, it's not taxed. So then we can get the church established, and we can start to build our spiritual systems. But our spiritual systems needs to deal with economics and some of these occult spiritual gnostic type practices, and then we can just start there and just take it slow. Like Malachi Z. York, that was his whole thing, and they got him in jail to this day on some bullshit because of what he was doing, because he was building pyramids and shit in Georgia. So that's where I'm from. So it's a lot of people like that in Georgia that's real, especially in, around the Atlanta area, that's real tapped in. And then we got Stone
Fact.
Mountain out here. Stone Mountain is a big ass clear quartz crystal. So I think that's why it's so high vibrational. It's a lot of trees out here. So the oxygen levels is high. So we breathe real good. So we think real good. So we have to just start to plant those seeds. And like I said, the most simplest way, and I always plant this seed when I'm around people that I feel like can understand and receive it. It's super simple. We need to just start planting more fruit trees because it's too many masculine trees. Trees
Right.
are dual sex too. They're all the trees that give off pollen are male trees. They pollinate the female trees. So the female trees have fruits on them. So it's a
Right.
super simple change to start planting more peach trees, apple trees, pear trees, and then get into gardening again. And if we can just get maybe 10 to 20 smart investors that are tapped into what we're tapped into, if we can just put a couple of dollars aside, get some land, and then start planting those trees and build those eco farms, and then build simple TP like homes, and then we can just start there. And then if we plant that seed, it might not happen our generation, but by the time our kids grow up, they can actually have a sustainable utopian type society to live in, and they won't have to be so co-reliant on the government, the current government, which is the United States corporation is a corpse. It's a dead body.
Right.
So it's like
Right.
it's literally a government, and they're making all this money off of us and our tax dollars. All we have to do is delegate that money and start moving into something that's more sustainable, that makes more sense.
Right. Well, I mean, ultimately, we are the money. We are the resource.
Exactly. We the batteries. We just battering their we're taking all of our energy and giving it to their system versus taking the batteries of our souls and putting it into our
Right.
own shit. But they have us in a
100%.
survival state where we're in such a survival mentality that we can't even think clearly enough to even put together some shit like this. But that's why we got to just stick together and have to keep having these type of conversations so we can start to, like I said, just plant those seeds, and eventually it'll start to grow into something beautiful that we can actually eat off of.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, whether we're around to directly reap the benefits or not, but it's like we got to be the ones to take the first step. I agree on that, definitely.
Yeah, facts. And like my boy Temp I will say, I don't know how to say bro name, but it like, oh, and it's pinned. I need y'all to realize that this realm is not physical. So at the end of the day, even if we can't fully, and I think we'll be able to reap the benefits while we're still in this physical flesh, but it's spiritual at the end of the day, bro. Our next lifetime, our next incarnation will be, we can live in that space in our next incarnation based off of the seeds we planted during this physical incarnation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Energy doesn't die, it just transforms. So shit, our next lifetime we could be living in heaven based off of the seeds we planted in this lifetime.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what
Facts.
that shit really come down to at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, as long as we're here, and I mean, yeah, whether that we're doing that here or whether there's doing that in other places and lands as well, but that's ultimately the change that needs to be made in all areas, in all lands, away from like the current political government regime, is getting back to nature, getting back to the way it was. And like, yeah,
Yeah, and it
that
just it'll make sense once, but nobody has really that type of. It's a genetic code that's coming, regardless of how you want to feel it. The people are starting to wake up to this type of knowledge and realizing that we need to be more connected to nature and mama, which is Gaia, which you know what I'm saying, which is Mother Earth. We gotta feed Mother Earth because we live on this celestial being. So the way we're living currently is killing her. It's not going, but she's way more powerful and ancient than us. So we're gonna die off before she dies. So at the end of the day,
right,
we need to start living more in union with her, and then everything else will just be better. Everything else will fall into place. Because you can even see with Elon Musk and all the shit that they're doing with the AI and the robots and shit, bro. Most of these slave jobs that people are doing, a lot of that shit can be delegated to robots, which is honestly is like I said, it's a you can look at the cup half full or half empty or whatever, however the fuck it go. But basically, yeah, it could be real fucked up because so many people could lose jobs. But at the end of the day, were we really meant to work a job? anyway.
Right.
We're not supposed
Those
to be
jobs.
working jobs. It really could be a space of nigga. All these people can just be free. But what we need is to change the system, because the system is built so everybody can have jobs and everybody can be slaves. But there's no need for people to be slaves anymore necessarily. There's enough infrastructure and shit being built, and enough intellectual minds and enough money circulating for us to be able to just delegate resources and live happily. You know what I'm saying? And we got a one
Right.
break out of ego. And Young Thug just got free. Young Thug is a thank God. Young Thug is a trillionaire damn near. Like, bro, all we need is a couple $1,000,000. If we had a couple $1,000,000 and a couple good investors, we can break this business plan down to them real clean, and then we can give it to some good investors. All we need is probably about $7 million, and we can literally change the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Like $7 million is not that much money. It sounds like a lot because a lot of us are in poverty mindsets, but $7 million is not that much money.
That's in the grand scheme of things. That's not
That's what one running back makes in a year, and he runs
right.
the football. That's what he does. He runs the football and hits people. A very
Yeah.
simple, basic thing, but that's what he makes in a year. That's very
Right.
simple shit. So there's no reason
Hmm.
why for the fucking the salvation of humanity we can't put together fucking $7 million to save generations to come and build a different type of system. Like, you ever heard of eco farms? We can have the fishes swimming in the water, and then the fishes boo boo in the water that fertilizes the ground and the garden. Like,
Yep.
you can build big ecosystems and then have natural water springs, have deers
Not.
and shit running on the land. We kill one
Yeah.
deer every other
Absolutely.
month. You feel me? We have the blueberry trees everywhere. We freeze the fruits during. Now we have freezers and shit. We freeze the fruits during the winter seasons. Eat smoothies and shit. Get more into fasting so we can actually live off less food, because we're naturally supposed to be living off less food anyway. That's why so much diabetes and fucking health problems, because we overeat and we overconsume. So we need to get more into practicing fasting any fucking way. So then we can get more into a hibernation state, like the bears and shit. Do bears big as fuck, and they don't eat all winter. They just sleep the whole winter time. So if we get more in tune with nature, nigga, we can sustain ourselves easily. But people are lost as fuck. People just lost as fuck and don't even
And see,
realize how simple shit could
right.
be.
It always circles back to that. That's the that's the issue. It's not even like we have everything we need. All the resource, the nature is there, but it's the people right now that are the problem,
Yeah,
and overcoming that. That's the challenge.
definitely the challenge. But we just got to keep having these type of conversations and just spreading the knowledge and planting those seeds. Even if it's just spiritual and esoteric right now, we keep planting these type of seeds. Eventually, it'll grow, and we can live in that world where we don't have to struggle and fight, tooth and nail our whole lives just to be mediocre, just to have a mediocre existence. Like, that's crazy.
Are you actually fighting them?
Shit, I am. But I'm
What are you
glad you
fighting?
said that. I need to get my ass up and go to the gym. But oh
So what are you
God,
fighting?
you said what am I fighting?
Yes, sir.
What, yeah,
What am I fighting?
yeah.
Against my ego mainly right now.
Okay, so do you think the ego is necessary?
The ego is who we are.
Are you supposed to get rid of the ego, or are you supposed to balance it?
I think you're supposed to balance it.
All right, bet. So we on the same page then. All right, I say that because I don't believe y'all are supposed to be fighting anything. That's a fucking narrative that your ancestors left with you. Your
It,
ancestors died fighting, bro, and they died, and the people before them died fighting, and the people before them died fighting. We talk about breaking generational curses. That also means your ancestors' generational past. I think a lot of y'all just take this ancestor shit and run with it and think that it's something that y'all are supposed to do because y'all don't realize y'all don't have to do it. And the only reason why I can talk like that is because I'm adopted. So I don't know what my parents did or what they didn't do. And the only information I have on that outside of what I've just discovered, and the only generational trauma that I have and the things that I have to deal with are what was shown to me by an adopted family that aren't even my bloodline. So technically, I don't have to do what the fuck they tell me either. You feel me? So the only real generational karma that I'm aware and privy of and that I have to deal with in this life is the karma that I create with my own children and my own family. Most of y'all are in this same situation, but by law, spiritual law, and decree, y'all attach yourselves to the purposes and paths forward that the people that came before you set. Instead of just saying, to hell with that path, I'm doing my own thing. Some people will tell you, oh, if you do that, then you won't have the protection of your ancestors. You don't need their protection. You ask for their protection, but their protection is not the only protection you're granted with. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, that's why I think a lot of people are stuck on this whole war mentality and shit. Our generation was never meant to go to war, bro.
Well, not even
We
just
were sitting
war,
here.
like a traditional like guns blazing. It's more so just a war of living. Like right now, I know so many people like my cousin, my auntie. I know several people in jail right now. I know several people that's working every single day. They can't spend time with their family. That's just fighting the war of trying to survive based off of this system that needs to be realigned. That's why I'm so big on pushing us going back into nature and building a different type of society where we can have these fruit trees and have these ecosystems and this fish, these ponds and shit like that, eco ponds and different things like that, where we can have our own natural water, we can have our own natural source of food. And that doesn't mean we have to completely detach from the so-called Babylon, but we can, you know, take some resources from Babylon but still be able to have a level of peace where now we're going into a 3-day work week and we can live in a more abundant and free and peaceful society. You know what I'm saying? It's just right now we're literally living in such a state of just struggle that people can't even afford to be at peace. They can't even afford to meditate. They can't even afford to just spend time with their kids and shit like that. And that's the shit that actually matters. We giving all our time and energy to another motherfucker's dream versus us, you know, pursuing our own dreams. And even beyond dreams, it's just like nigga can't even just be at peace. Like motherfuckers is stressed out. And then they eating all this bullshit ass GMO food. So now their hormones is irregulated. They're stressing the fuck out. So they dying early. They losing their hair. Like motherfuckers is going through it right now. And it's just not necessary. It's a whole lot of unnecessary stress.
Well, because we don't have the examples of successful people that did that, and the reason that we don't is because they came in and they fucking wiped them all out
Yeah.
and built this shit. What you see now. So here we are.
And we have to fix it. That's why I said we, especially if you're native to this land, it's not cool for you to just up and leave. Like, of course, if you need to get your peace, like yeah, go to Costa Rica, go to these other places and just send the message out. That's a beautiful thing about the internet. You can just send out the message and send out the good vibes. But while you're here, I feel like it's enough land and resources that we need to just come together as a community and start to just plant those seeds. Like, hey, okay, cool. We got 10 people together. All right, let's put aside $50 a week, $50 a month, and let's get this land grant and let's get this land and start building up teepees and getting more into those natural practices. We can practice our natural practice, you know, practice our, you know, our medicine, our, you know, different, you know, spiritual medicine. We can do our rituals and stuff there. And even beyond that, we can just have natural daycares. We can, you know, have sustainable 501(c)(3)s, nonprofits where we're doing activities, we're camping together, we're getting into hunting together, we're getting into gardening together. Just simple shit to take us out of the Babylon mentality. And, you know, then also another source of income. If you realize, oh, I can have a house for $50,000 and it's a beautiful house, why wouldn't you take that? You know what I'm saying? Like if I can eat this natural food and I can shop here, or I can just grow my own food versus going to Walmart every 2 days, why not do that? You know what I'm saying? It's just more so creating a different option, because all the options that we currently have present are feeding a system of Babylon, a system that isn't really aiding us in no type of real way.
I don't really agree with that, but I hear you. I see where you're coming from. I just think it's a lack of experience, but I get it. And the only reason why I say that is because like you had brought up the warrior thing and how war is like football and everything. War is nothing like that. I'm ex-military, so I was in the Navy. I went and I seen war. The wars y'all think we gonna be fighting have nothing to do with what real war looks like. And so it's like a lot of shit that a lot of people are afraid of or what they think is happening. That's not, it's your imagination. I was just talking about this earlier because everybody's like, oh, Trump's going to do this and this is going to come and everything. War is only going to happen because y'all want it to happen. Y'all keep talking about it.
Yeah,
It's what
that's
y'all
why
want
I'm
to
big
happen.
on
I
not
don't
speaking
ever
that
hear
type of shit.
nobody imagine a world of how y'all never talk about getting y'all's land back peacefully.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about it like that. And it's like, if you have all this power, you should be able to get it back peacefully. I don't think people want to take it back peacefully. They want to take it back with war. What do I mean by peacefully? Did y'all know that there's certain ways that you can negotiate with people that have your land to where you get in good with the families and you can sit up there and talk to them and bring your case? 9 times out of 10, most people will listen to the case. And if they're on their way out and dying, they will literally give you the land back. I've seen it. There's so many people out here, but because we're so dedicated to violence, war, and everything, that is a product of your environment of being in captivity. That's all you know. So it's like, this is why I tell people you need to leave and come back. Because this is why I asked you earlier, did Jesus stay where he was supposed to stay? Or did he leave and go out and experience other cultures before he came back and started teaching other people? Same with Buddha, same with Genghis. Like, I never believed that indigenous Americans were just stuck on that landmass and they stayed to themselves. They've never been that. They've been travelers. They were always voyagers and sailors and fucking vagabonds. They were moving
Right.
100% of the time.
That's
Right.
valid. I done already did that though for myself. Like I said, where I'm at right now on my journey is I need, and I want to do it more, and I want to do it with my children and all that kind of shit. But right now, it's more so the system that we're living in doesn't allow that level of peace. It is a very, especially in Atlanta, it is a very dog eat dog world. It's like
Yeah, because you in Atlanta. I left Atlanta a long time ago
Everywhere,
and
bro.
never looked back. I was in Atlanta
Everywhere in
from
the
what?
states.
Let me see. I went to Job I met my wife in Brunswick. My family is in Macon. I got family in Lawrenceville, Macon, Snellville, Stone Mountain, um, Villa Rica, Douglasville. Shit, my sister went to Chapel Hill High. I was only in Atlanta for a year before I said, no, this ain't for me, and I left.
yeah.
I was only there for a year. I did Atlanta, in Douglasville, I was there. What I want to say, I graduated 2006. So I was there from January to about May of 2007. Before September hit, I left Douglasville and went to Macon. I stayed in Warner Robins in Macon from May of 2007 all the way up until September. By September 2007, I was in Brunswick, Georgia. By Brunswick, right after Brunswick, I was just making my way all the way down south. You feel me? Signed up for the military in Macon, and then went to Tampa, Florida, to be there for the birth of my daughter and with her mom. Left there, went back to Douglasville to stay with my mom. By February 2009, I was out, and I shipped out to Virginia. No, I shipped out to Chicago, and then we shipped up to the Great Lakes. I did my boot camp there, got out, and then I got placed in Virginia. But my home port was California, so that's how I ended up in San Diego and all of the California for the next 4 years and doing all the trips around the world. But before then, I lived in Georgia, Florida, Virginia for a minute, and I already knew from there. And I was born in.
For against the war, but it's more so I feel like that's the people that's controlling the system's main point of reference. That's the type of
But
shit
they
they're
don't have any
into.
control unless we give it to them. And see, we focus so
They
much
bombing
on
the
what we
hell out of
think they
Israel right
need.
now. You've seen them videos, all them
Bro,
damn
that ain't
children and
us
little
though.
kids, huh?
That's not us. They've been bombing them since before we were born.
I know, but these are
That's
the
Can I
my
ask you
people
a
that these
that's
are
question?
my
the
brother.
people
That's
that's
my
sitting
son's
in those
people.
captain seats though, the commander in chief seats.
That's
Yo, say, can you hear me?
that's
Can you
my
hear
son's
me?
people. My son is Palestinian. That's his people.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
why I
keep
fucked
left.
asking
up.
this question.
Yeah,
I
it's
keep
fucked
asking
up.
this
But at
question.
the same time,
I sat
they were
here
already in a
and
fucked up
listened to
situation.
this conversation.
There ain't shit you can change about that. The world has to come together and fix that. That's why they have the UN talking about, oh, this is war crimes against humanity. It's no different from when Hitler was bombing all the fucking Jews. But now we know why. I also understand the whole reason why Palestine is getting bombed has nothing to do with what they're telling you and has everything to do with the fucking minerals under the ground, but also the fact that there's a fucking issue. How do I say this shit? All right, just think about the pedo shit. That's what's connected to that.
Yeah.
You got to understand, Israel is the biggest place where all the pedophiles go to seek asylum. They allow pedophiles in their place and they won't be charged. A lot of people don't know that about Israel or Greece. This is what I'm saying. You're not going to learn how the world stage works until you start traveling and start going to all these other
But see,
places. Most people are
I'm on
brainwashed
the
to
end
believe
of that
America is
fight
the
where
greatest.
I'm hip to what you saying, and I'm on the end of that fight where I got a warrior spirit. When I seen that made me want to fight, and I realized we can't win if we go guns blazing. The only way we can start to win that fight is by creating other systems so we can protect the children, we can protect the future generations, and if we have a giant ecosystem to which, hey y'all, look at this, look how we're living over here, guys. We don't even really have no government system. We over here living real beautiful, real economic, real in tune with the land. We in these big ass triangular teepees living in
But
pyramids.
what if the land rejects you though? Because people don't talk about that. You know, the ecosystem and everything. What if the land turns against your own people? What if the land swallows you whole? You know what I'm saying? You know there's bacteria out there that eats you alive just for living out in nature? You become just like the animals out there. That's why they call people
I
savages.
mean,
It has
not
nothing to
not
do with
like I
land.
said, it's a combination, not balls deep in nature. Like nigga, we getting rid of clothes and we getting rid of water systems and like, well, of course, we're taking certain things from how they created this system in Babylon. We're still gonna have houses and shit, but it's more
I'm
so
more on
like,
the
okay, have a
Chinese.
house and
I'm
then now
on.
we can have
Listen,
teepees. We can have
I'm gonna
some
tell y'all
different ways to do the
who
shit.
got this shit down pat. I'm gonna tell y'all who got this shit down pat. China and Saudi Arabia really got this shit down pat
Yeah,
because they found a way to
that's it.
combine AI, modern technology, and nature all in one. It's really like that. Like they're building shit. They got a fucking water boat that's like it's kind of like a carrier, but it's
I think
basically
I
a
seen that
whole
shit.
city on water. They got the whole forest where
Yeah, I
they're
seen that shit.
growing
That shit was
the
hard.
forest within the apartment complexes, and then they let
That's
them
the type
stack
of
up
shit
like
I'm
smart
talking
houses.
about. That's really
You know what I'm saying?
what I'm seeing. Like I said, I'm a Libra Virgo. I'm all
But
about
they
classy,
have that,
beautiful
but
shit.
they still have those people that live in the woods. It's your choice what you want to live like. It's
Right,
on you.
right. And so like the only thing about that, and so like what you're asking for, you
That's a whole nother
what
U.S. You're talking too much business. It's everything. All I hear is business, business, business. We're trying to. I thought the goal was to destroy the system. Period.
right, and
That's
I
that's
mean, the
that's
system innately is
so for
not
me.
evil though. As the system
But for me,
as a
no,
whole
for
is
me,
not
nah, the
it
system
completely
is
is.
definitely
evil.
evil. System is definitely evil.
It's evil,
Anything
bro.
systematic,
It
yeah, it's
pushes
definitely evil.
division.
It's
It pushes
business
worship.
minded. It's business minded people that's running the
Look,
system.
bro.
The
No, the
system.
corporation is not the system. The
Listen.
system is, I mean, the corporation is
Because
in the
I believe
system, but
everybody talks.
it's not the
Anytime
system.
you let somebody dictate what the fuck you can do,
Yeah,
it's against natural nature.
yeah.
That is
The
not how it
corporation
works.
is within the system, but the system is not the corporation. The corporation is just a part of the system. The system itself is definitely evil because it's all
But
anti
people
everything that
need a
brings life.
level of leadership, though. There still has to
No,
be a
they
chief, and there
don't.
still has
No,
to be
they don't.
Indian.
Who said that?
There's
Who said
several
that? No, they
books on
don't.
the natural nature of human beings. Natural
Bro,
nature of human
look,
beings
look, look, look.
is
At that
chaotic
point,
and
you have to think for yourself. No,
destructive.
no, no,
No,
no.
it's not. What? Who
At
told you
that
that,
point, you have to think for yourself and say, "Fuck that book and fuck the system." Can't
bro?
nobody tell me. Go ahead, go ahead.
You said 90. You said the natural nature of humans is destruction. No, nigga, that was when greed and everything else was introduced. But before then, the natural instinct of human nature was to get along with nature and live
Trading.
in harmony
It
with it.
was trading, getting along with
Yeah,
nature,
we
and
didn't have
trading.
Not
these
really,
wars
bro. You
until
can
certain
study
people.
children, bro. Children, until you tell a child will cry and throw temper tantrums if you take away a bottle. And if you try to take a bottle away from a
Greed.
child, yeah, listen though, but
Bro,
that's what I'm saying. You have to build these schools. The schools and levels of discipline is necessary because children without
all
discipline
we have to
will
do is
never
go.
learn how to be good adults. Like you have to teach a child how to share. You have to teach a child how to be empathetic. You have to teach a child these certain things,
Who
moral
teaches them that though?
principles, and
Bro,
then
Who
as
have
they
teaches
you
them
get
ever had a
that?
older, they
child?
can live in that.
No, no, Crystal. Who teaches them that?
The parents.
No, we don't.
Okay, so why do you need to build a school for that? You can do that
And
in
we
your
don't teach
home.
them that. We correct them. We do not
you
teach them
know,
that, bro. That's why I asked them, "Do you got kids?" I got a 3-year-old right now. I never taught my son teaches me shit every day. I never taught my son how to fucking talk. He just started talking one day.
But he
The
studied
only
you.
way that
He
he learned
studied
it is
you
because he
though to
observed
learn how to
us
talk.
talking
He
in front of him.
observed you, and you
He
talked to
observed
him.
it, but we're not teaching him anything. He's learning because he's choosing to. He doesn't have to talk. But yesterday, this nigga walked up to me and was like, "I'm thirsty." We looking at this nigga waiting for him to say "mom" and "dad," like we the fucking remedial ones. He always talking about I'm thirsty. So listen, nigga, you
Either,
need to talk.
either way, there's a level of programming that has to go into you becoming a adult. And even when you get a new job, there's orientation. You have to learn how to do that job. You have to learn how to move in this new society, even if it's a job. So what I'm more so speaking on is teaching how do you move properly, because there has to be a certain school, a schooling. And like I said, what fucks us up in Babylon is it's 12 years and they teach you how to be a slave. We need to have 12 years of teaching them how to be a
A
ecosystemly,
proper
you
slave.
feel me, a proper human. We need to teach them how to be a proper human. Look, this is how you garden. This is how you take care of God. This is how you do astrology. You're a Leo, or you're a fire sign. This is how you use your energies. You should be doing this based off of
You talking about
your
basically use
astrology.
Exodus.
You should
I
be
know what you
doing
mean.
this. You feel what
I
I'm
used to be on
saying?
that.
Okay,
I used
I
to be on
fuck
that.
with that. I
I
thought
used to
you
be
was
on
trying
that.
to go somewhere else with it. I was about to say, hell no. Okay, I'm with you
No,
on that. Yeah.
I definitely used to be on that shit. I used to be on that tip all the time. That's like in the very beginning of the spiritual awakening stage. A lot of people, you don't want to build houses made of triangles and domes and shit and different shapes instead of
You
just
know
sitting
they
here
got the
with just
3D
fucking
printing
square
houses
boxes.
though.
Yeah,
I've been researching this
yeah.
shit.
The
You
3D
can
printed
get
houses
the
with the
3D
big
printed
tree.
houses. You can make
Yeah, the
3D
3D
printed
printed
fucking
houses.
triangle houses. We can make a pyramid
Yeah,
with a 3D printer. We
yeah.
can have
Now
everybody
that
living in
I'm all down
pyramids.
for, but you can do that now. All you gotta do is just go get some land.
But listen,
Literally, can do that
if I'm
now.
yeah, I could do it by myself. But imagine if I teamed up with people, we can have a whole neighborhood.
But see,
And
all right. So let me explain this to you because I just told Bridget this a couple days ago. And I think this is a problem in everybody's spiritual community. Stop waiting on everybody else. You're supposed to be the one that brings the vision forward.
that's
You
real
have to
shit though.
start because
Right.
I was afraid to start
That
alone.
might be a
And
little
so it's
lonely at
project
first.
it kept me 10, 12 years out of the balance. You have to start alone.
Right.
Damn, that was a good build. Well, we're gonna end off on the last thing they said was you gotta start alone. So I'm finna get into my day and I'm finna go get this money on. Peace, love, and light, man. Y'all stay. I'm gonna end on 11/11/11. Y'all stay in tune, bruh. Stay focused, keep studying, keep learning. God loves you. We protect it. We finna get this thing together. We finna figure it out.